Call to order this meeting of the Maine Township Board. And the first thing I'd like to ask everyone to do is stand to
pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Assessor Fry.
Here.
Highway Commissioner Bouvet.
Here.
Clerk Giuliano is here. Supervisor Diamond.
Here.
Trustee Jones.
Here.
Trustee Horvath.
Here.
Trustee Maher.
Here.
Trustee Malik.
Here.
Thank you. All right, we'll go down our agenda fairly quickly to start. I have a motion to approve the minutes of the March 25th, 2025 board meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes of the March 25th, 2025 board meeting.
Second.
Are there any corrections? Hearing none. We have a roll call to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Supervisor Diamond.
I'll abstain as it wasn't at that meeting.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Abstain.
Trustee Horvath.
Abstain. Sorry.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
And Trustee Malik.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion to approve the general assistance expenditures.
Motion to approve the general assistance expenditures for pay dates April 11th, 2025 and April 25th, 2025, and general assistance checks number 55708 through check number 55728 in the amount of $51,629.69.
Second.
Any questions or comments on that? Then may I have a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
Trustee Malik.
Yes.
I have a motion to approve the the road district expenditures.
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of April 11, 2025 and April 25, 2025 road district checks 2389 through check 2394 in the amount of $162,001.04.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
Trustee Malik.
Yes.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve the general town fund expenditures.
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of April 11th, 2025 and April 25th, 2025, and general town fund checks number 61808 through checks number 61871 in the amount of $367,989.13.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, may I have a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
Trustee Malik.
Yes.
All right, the next item on our agenda is public participation. And we're going to check and see if there's any requests on the second sheet to see if anyone has requested.
No requests.
No request for public participation. All right, then we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. And that's the introduction of Dan. Dan, where are you? There he is. He's turned to back. You can walk up a little bit perhaps and just wave and say hi. Dan is the second van driver that we've hired. And while Marty Zimmerman usually drives residents to morning appointments, Dan usually takes over the afternoon one. And also, like Marty, does some of the driving to the mainstreamer events too, for individuals who can't get there very easily without a ride. So they're both part-time employees, and we want to welcome you very much to Maine Township.
I'm happy to be here. As Karen knows, I was born and raised in Parker Ridge, and I'm the oldest of 7, and I'm showing my age now, but at one point, we lived 2 doors away from where she's my sisters. So,
A lot. Wow.
a lot. But Anyway, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next thing on our agenda is the unveiling of a free library/pantry. I'm going to turn this matter over to Kelly Morbeck. You can take it from here if you want.
Sure. So something we had talked about a while ago was trying to build a little free pantry and a little free library. And most people are familiar with the ideas of little free libraries, but a little free pantry is something where, since we have our food pantry, it's an extension of that where not everybody can always make it to the library or the food pantry on time. So this is a way for the community to maybe come in after hours and just pick up some little things from the little free pantry. It's something where I work, we actually do at my work, and it's really successful. So I was excited to bring that idea here. Kim wanted to include a little free library as well. So we reached out to members of the community, and I started working with Shauna Skirka, who is an alderman of Des Plaines. He is also one of the leaders of Scout Troop 6. And so with the Scout Troop, as well as Sean Nutley, who was actually sort of the master architect of this and builder, they were able to complete both a pantry and a library, and they were able to build them to look sort of like our building here. So I don't know if you guys want to bring that up and we can see them. And they still need to be installed. They're going to be brought outside and find a place for them to be installed.
Oh, nice.
We need a big poster.
Yeah. Oh, I might need legs.
Yeah.
So the pantry is sort of the big pantry up front, and then there's the little library in the back, and so they'll be sort of like a pair. I think that pantry will feed a lot of people.
Well, we don't want to, we would like to, you don't have to take it off.
I might move my office in there, that's huge.
Turn it around.
Okay.
Turn it around. I don't see the front.
And we're going to add some few little finishing details. I'm going to put some decals that label them as a pantry and as a,
Oh, strong guys.
We need you guys to handle it.
and we even have, Trustee Jones brought some books to put in our little library. So
Actually, it's a big
that is a big library. That's a little bit.
Here's what it comes out.
Take the picture of the boys.
Yeah, yes, we see the picture.
There's the boys. There's all the boys in there.
Mr. Dudley, our craftsman.
There you go.
Do you guys want to line up behind it?
Guys, cram it tight. Super tight. You gotta get everyone in that there.
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
You want just the boys, maybe? Guys, Sean, do you want to get it out?
Yeah.
Well, they need it.
Right in front, Hodge.
All right. All right, very good. And then we can get the electeds on the side probably.
Okay.
Yeah,
Unless you guys want to get down more.
Why are you going
Yeah.
Sit
Why
down.
don't you guys get down, sit down here?
Yeah, just
Come
Yeah.
come sit next to Rob.
Yeah, I was gonna say the one with young knees can deal.
Here, have a seat, guys. Just sit down. There you go. Yeah, Brandon.
Oh, this works.
There you go, guys.
We need to bend.
So people in the back are good. Everybody's good, actually. Yeah, looks very good. All right, nice work. Good job.
you.
Good job, guys.
So how many merit badges get for this?
Thank you.
Wait, was that for an Eagle? Was that for an Eagles? No.
Maybe the Eagle Scout can come and install it. That would
Yeah,
be
there we go.
project.
There's a project.
So what badge do they get for this? What's the badge? Don't they get something for
It's
this?
the merit of getting books and food to the public.
This one is nice to kind of give back.
Yeah.
Right.
Very nice, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
In the winter time. Yeah, right.
Thank you again, guys. Have a good day.
Nice job. We'll be back for the install.
Thank you.
Blessings. All to the
My next presentation doesn't have as large a thing to show us, of course, she'll tell here, but Catherine, our insurance agent,
Sorry.
is here to give us a presentation.
Dazzles, Catherine.
Health insurance rates. So thank you. These are for the company.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I have.
Good evening, and thank you. I'm here to talk about the renewal for July 1st. So we do have a presentation, and pages are numbered as requested. So I'm kind of going to just skip through the front part because I've been with you for 14 years, so I kind of think you know what we do already. 14 years. So yeah, it's been 14 years. Thank you. So I thank you for that. But yeah, so this is just talking about our company and how I assist in trying to bring the most valuable coverages for the most cost-effective route every year. So as always, we do shop all the carriers. Is this too loud? Okay, so we do go to market with the carriers, and most of the time UHC and sometimes Cigna are really the only options because of being a municipality. So a lot of carriers don't quote on municipalities. So we're limited to Blue Cross, United Healthcare, and Cigna declined to offer a quote, mostly because they saw the longevity with Blue Cross, and they don't think they're going to be able to earn business, like price-wise, plan-wise, and with the loyalty to Blue Cross, so they did not give us a quote, even though we asked them for one. But they do that often, so don't feel bad about that. UHC, they did come in with, looks like, to be a savings, but we, as far as Blue Cross goes, the renewal was issued at a, I believe it was 6.5% increase originally, but I went back and negotiated with them and told them that, you know, I had competitive marketing that could actually save you guys money, so in order not to lose the group, I think they better come back and give you no increase. So I was like, please, and they did it. So we got no increase for the renewal for 7/1, keeping the same plans in place with Blue Cross Blue Shield. I could go, so here in your packet is actually the revised renewal showing you no increase. As far as these are your current plans right now. I'm on page 9. These are the current plans. So it's showing you the current rates and the renewal rates. I think it ends up, so yeah, it was 6.5 originally, and then we end up being like $3.60 difference. So it is a 0% increase, but the way the numbers work out, it's $3.60 more a year. So I think you're okay with that. As far as UHC goes, While it does show a savings of 18%, there's a couple things I want to remind you about that. Number one, Blue Cross, through the 14 years that I've had the opportunity to take care of you, we've been able to keep the renewal on an average over 14 years under 5%. So going to another carrier, like I always mention, especially, they're going to come out of the gate with their, marketing rates that they want to win the group, right? But there's no telling what's going to happen the next year. So they very easily could increase you 18 to 20% and not be as friendly over the years like Blue Cross has. And then the other point too is that your current agreements that you have with the people on the plan, some of those people won't be eligible if we move to another carrier because of qualifying hour-wise. So that's just something to keep in mind too if you were to leave Blue Cross. As far as the other coverages, on page 13, I'm showing you the principal renewal. We did get a little bit of an increase on the employer paid life. Unfortunately, we did have a loss. It's not a big increase, it's a very small increase. So it's going from 0.221 to 0.252. So not a big increase, but it's a little bit. And then on all the other coverages, there's no increase at all on the vision. As far as the dental goes, there's a little bit of an increase on the dental, and that's 6.8%. And the other carriers, I'm now on page 17. The other carriers for dental, we always shop it every year. Looks like MetLife is a savings, but we've already been there, done that, and nobody was happy there at MetLife. So we had to move off of that. Nobody else really. Equitable, I would not recommend them. They look like a savings too, but I would not recommend them because right now they've been trying to be sold for a long time, but they can't even get a buyer. So not a place I would want to take you guys. Like I said, the vision, there's no increase, so there's no plan changes, there's no increase. And as far as the life and voluntary, the life got a slight, but the voluntary life, there's no increase. There's only an increase on the voluntary life when somebody moves into another 5-year age bracket. Otherwise, that's all staying the same. As far as the ancillary benefits, we're offering the critical illness, and there was a couple accident and critical illness and hospital and accident were new benefits that we offered last year. And there's no increase on those. So just a recap page on 24 to show you like what's recommended. So recommendation would be to stay with principal. Everybody's pretty happy. We don't really get any complaints. And I think it's a really decent renewal. And recommendation on the medical, of course, would be to stay with Blue Cross. And that's what I have for the renewal. If it could be approved in this board meeting, that would be wonderful, because then we could schedule the open enrollment and be ahead of the game on that. We come and do our meeting and everything with the employees. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
I have a question. Thank you. On page 14, on the dental, I'm just a little bit confused with the employee and the employee's spouse. So,
Okay.
it says the employee is $537.15 monthly, employee and spouse is $487.69. Well, is that going to be reversed, or where is that?
What?
On page 14, the
Yes.
bottom of dental.
Right. So the employee count is 15, the current rate's $35.81, the renewal rate's $38.25. The current monthly premium for just the employees enrolled, 15 employees, is $537.15.
Correct.
It's going to $573.75 with that 6.8
And
increase.
go to the next line.
And then the
Employee
spouse.
is less.
Well, it would be less because there's only 7. Well, there's only 7 enrolled. The current rates are $69.67, and the renewal rates are $74.41. The current monthly premium for the 7 employee spouse enrolled is $487.69. It's going to.
So it's just a multiplication of the 7 or the 15. Is that what I'm?
So it's, yep, so it would be 7 times the new rate, 74.41 would equal the 520.87.
Okay, all right, that's.
And then-
I didn't quite understand how that, okay. So
Yeah.
multiplication, okay.
And then on the next page is the employee, children, and family. So it kind of got split up, so it makes it a little confusing.
Okay, that was a little confusing to me, but now that you say that, okay.
Yeah, and then you have your total monthly for all the dental on the next page, on page 15.
And so you're saying now with the new plan, we're going up like 3.5%?
So on the dental, it's 6.8%.
Okay, and how about with Blue Cross Blue Shield? Is it like,
Nothing. So I got it, originally when it came out, it was 6.5% increase, but I negotiated down to no increase at all. So it's a rate.
okay, so what I was paying last year in my budget, that I'm just gonna keep that?
Yep. Not too often that happens, right?
So my budget will come down a little bit, because we always go high, just in case. But,
Right.
I saw there was nothing, you know, over 50,000 that was submitted for any kind of claims last year. I think that's why they kind of.
So we don't actually get, I don't know where you saw claims, because we don't actually get claim data. Sometimes in the renewals, if we're having high claims experience, they will note on the renewal for
I saw
us.
0 under 50, so I mean over 50.
Which page shows the 0% increase?
So that would be, hold on, so the 0% increase is shown on page 10 in my exhibit, and it's also shown in the letter that I got from them that's revised, page 6 and 7.
On the insurance for Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Does anyone else have any questions?
How is any of this going to be impacted by the changes that are coming with the Blue Cross Blue Shield HMO, where there a lot of the like advocate medical group and a lot of other groups are no longer accepting HMOs?
So that information, as soon as everything is finalized and we feel like we have all the information, we're going to let everybody know that. We're going to do that at the employee meetings. So any changes like that as of 7/1, because there's still some things happening, because whenever changes happen, they either happen January 1st or July 1st.
Okay.
And so we're not so sure that all the information's out yet, but as soon as it is, we'll make sure that everybody's informed. We'll also, if we don't have it by our employee meetings, because I'm hoping to have those like the second week of May, we'll definitely communicate that through HR so they can pass that additional information on.
So do you know, will there be, for those people that want an HMO, will there be an HMO option that will be accepted? Or, because I've already, like for me personally, I've already had my doctors telling me that I'm not going to be insured after, I don't have insurance through here, but like I have a Blue Cross Blue Shield HMO and they're already notifying patients that come January, you might not have coverage anymore.
Maybe not with Advocate, but there will be other doctors.
There's like a whole big
groups.
list of all the medical groups that are going to no longer accept it.
Right. So we'll get a list of the groups that will, and we'll be able to provide that information.
Okay. It didn't seem like very many in the area. We're going to.
There could be, because HMOs are always really small networks, extremely different than the PPO networks, so that could be that it's going to be even more limited. Yeah, just as soon as we have what we feel like is the final for July, we're going to let everybody know what that is.
Any other questions? Employees probably will have a chance to talk with Representative Catherine personally.
Yep.
Any questions right now?
Any other questions?
Thank you. Okay. All right, now I'd like a vote on it for now, if possible. I was wondering if one of the board members would like to make a vote regarding the insurance coverage for the coming year, that it begins July 1.
Correct.
Of 2025 and goes through
June 30th, 26.
6. So, if anyone is of the mind to do that, how would you like that motion described? Which one of the, how would you describe the?
So if you could first approve the medical with Blue Cross Blue Shield with no changes at a 0% increase to be approved for July 1st, and then all the benefits with principal for July as reflected in the renewal for July 1st.
Okay. Motion to approve the insurance
with no increase for July 1st, and then what was the second part, the principals?
For principals renewal on the ancillary benefits for
Okay,
July
for
1st.
principal renewals with ancillary benefits.
Thank you.
Does that adequately describe the?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Does anyone have any further questions about the matter which is on the table? Let's see, did you get a second?
I'll say.
Oh, sorry,
Okay.
okay. All right. Any other questions or comments? Okay. And roll call.
Supervisor Dent?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher? Yes. Trustee Malik?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Well, Catherine, get you up ready with our meetings and get everyone signed up on a timely basis. And I think this will be good news to the staff. No increases, this is terrific. So thank you very much, Catherine.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you all.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening.
You too.
All right, we have another presentation, M3 marketing presentation. And Robert's here tonight to give us that presentation. Now, Robert, I understand you're doing a presentation this evening, but you're not actually asking for a vote on this.
That's correct, and I'll outline our plan for that.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you.
Good to see you. Sir. All right, so I'll begin with a recap of what we've done over the last 3.5 years, but I'll be very brief. There's some bullet points listed on the first page that really speaks to our overall scope of work and what we've accomplished over that time. So, when your term started 4 years ago, the township didn't even have a Facebook page at the time. It had never done digital advertising. It had never done ads on YouTube. It had never even had a consistent township-wide e-newsletter presence. And you can see some of these figures that I quoted here to speak to the impact of what we've been able to accomplish and the number of residents we've been able to reach in this time. 180,000 e-newsletters delivered across 39 versions of that, with 70,000 open emails. A rate of around 40 to 50% on each email that we send, which is a very high rate. It shows that the people on the list want to be involved and want to get the information that we're sharing with them, and that open rate has stayed consistent, so the information we've shared they have found relevant over time, which is very important. We've created website content in a manner that didn't exist before. That's helped keep our search result near the top of the Google and other search engine results, and made sure that when people search Maine Township, they find us quickly online. Facebook, we've of course organically created 8 posts or more per month to share information, and we have an engaged following of people on there who regularly check in. But we've also done advertising on there and reached 150,000 impressions between Facebook and YouTube over that time, promoting things like the assessor services, events that we've had, and generally what we do here at the township. Professionally shot video is another thing that we're very proud of. We've got an overview video, but we've also, of course, shot events like National Night Out recently, the International Fest that we had a couple years ago, and that's been a new, engaging way to reach people. We're also, just this year, we've launched a couple short videos promoting some of the clerk's office services like passports and driver's license renewals. We've seen, of course, even in the 3.5 years we've been working for you, such a pivot towards people going towards short videos, and Facebook and YouTube launching their own short video platforms after TikTok to reach people, and that's something that we have in our plan moving forward that we want to do more of. So that's a little of what we've done. Now, before I look at 2025 and beyond, I'm going to briefly speak to the point that you made, Supervisor Diamond, about the process here. So I'm presenting to you tonight our plan, should you choose to renew us for 2025 moving forward. And The reason I wanted to present this to you tonight is because, of course, we believe in feedback. So we want to give you the opportunity to look at our plan, share any feedback you have with us before the May board meeting. And at the May board meeting, we would have the actual contractual language that would serve as the formal renewal. Right now, we're under contract to continue providing services through May 18th. Should the indication be given tonight that you're generally going to work out an agreement with us to renew, then we'll continue to perform work after May 18th, and then at the May board meeting, we can vote on a new 2-year contract at that time. Without objection from your council, of course. Thank you. Okay, so briefly outlining the plan of 2025 and beyond, we largely intend to deliver the service that you've become accustomed to. But one change that I want to point out that I just mentioned is a little bit of a pivot away from longer professionally shot videos and towards more shorter form videos to reach people where they are. Today, we continue to utilize the Facebook Shorts platform and the YouTube Shorts platform. Facebook is called Reels. And try to grow that audience more. It's a good way to reach different people and younger people. However, while we're on the topic of the video, we do intend to create a refreshed version of that. Some parts of that video are going to remain the same, others we can edit because we'll have new staff members, new elected officials, and the video will reflect that. So that would be something we would look to stand up over the summer months. And then we'll pivot more towards short video moving forward after that. E-newsletter, press releases, newspaper ads, blog posts, social media, that will remain largely unchanged. And before I get into the rate structure, are there any questions? So far, I know you've been flipping through your pages maybe. All right, okay, I will continue then. So rate structure, I'll just briefly say that I think we continue to deliver exceptional taxpayer value here. I listed on page 4 just some salaries of communications directors from the municipalities or school districts that are in Maine Township. And you can see these are just salary data of the communications directors that these municipalities employ. And they're all over $100,000 a year. I added, I think, a 15% total for benefits on top of their salaries, but you can see what we're asking for here, which is about $41,000 a year total, is much lower than even the salaries of these folks. Not to mention, many are in departments that have budgets that are obviously several times this. The Display and Media Services Department, for instance, approaches a $1 million budget totally. That can include different things. Of course, we do things like the Mainly News here. That's not reflected in the figure that I'm quoting you, but it does speak to the value that you're receiving by contracting with Marty and I and not building an entire in-house communications department. So with that said, we'd like to lock in a new 2-year price guarantee at the rate of $34.50 per month. That's an increase from our current rate of $28.50 per month. It would be a 2-year price that we would be giving you, and that equates out to a 3.5% effective annual increase dating back to 2021. So we're very proud that since we started working for you 4 years ago, we've kept that price flat, and if it's reflected over the full 6-year period, that would be an annualized increase of 3.5%.
You're going to be talking about the community survey results, are you?
Yes. So one of the new things that we did this year that we hadn't done in prior years is our 2 surveys. So one is a community survey and one is the highway department survey. And I'm happy to go through these one by one if you'd like. I don't have to. If there's consensus from the board, you can review the questions. You know, I will say that the way we asked some of these questions, we wanted to try to see if there was kind of a general sense of people maybe needing more information or feeling like we could be doing more from a communication perspective. That wasn't necessarily reflected, it kind of varied. But you know, a lot of these, I think it's a good, from a communication and PR perspective, it's a good reminder that there's still a lot of these services that people just don't know about, I think, generally. When you ask, you know, the clerk's office services alone, you know, the fact that all of the above was basically the most answered, the most frequent given answer, right there with license plate renewal, which of course is a new service that was just launched. You know, it speaks that people are very interested in everything that we do here. So we'll continue to just try to find creative ways to inform people of everything that the township's doing.
Robert,
Yes.
I'm sure it's here somewhere. I see in the assessor's page, it said that 312 respondents used assessor's office services. But how many people actually answered the surveys?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. So totally, it was about 500 people.
Okay.
And so it varies a little by each question because there was no mandatory response. So people were free to skip certain questions. So the assessors for office, 312 used the services, 227 did not. And that was either the most or one of the most answered questions. So that gets us, you know, 539. Is that what that is? So that was generally how many people answered. Some had lower. But the numbers presented are the raw number of people who answered each question.
Okay.
They're not percentages.
So like on the first one, all of the above, 121, so I guess the colors are just overlapping, showing that it's a bigger pie, share of the pie, is that right?
Yeah, so the pie is meant to kind of give you a rough idea of percentage, and then all of the above 121 gives you the raw number of people. So you can see for all of the above, it was roughly 25% or a quarter of the pie. License plate renewal, 122 was also about a quarter. And then you have RTA adventure cards, passport processing.
Any other questions?
I have a quick question. Robin, one of the figures that jumped off the page for me was senior housing assistance with a percentage of, what other services would you like to see expanded? Were there any specifics on that you might remember, like the cost of it, or what types of housing assistance were they talking about, if you know, if you could summarize that?
Well, so that question, can I just ask real quick, Jim, what page you were on there?
Sure, it's on the first page of the community survey results.
Oh, yeah, okay, senior housing assistance,
Yeah,
yes.
significant numbers of people thought that could be an improvement, so that was very interesting to me for the future.
Yeah.
If there were specifics on that, they just said they wanted housing assistance on it.
So this was a multiple choice question,
I see.
so it was not open-ended on that one, and we didn't give specifics on costs or what that would practically look like.
Okay, but a significant percentage of people mentioned
Yes,
the improvement.
they did. I mean, between all of the above and senior housing assistance, that's 75% of the people who responded, yes.
That's why I asked. All right, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. We try to restrict these questions mostly to multiple choice answers because things get a little unwieldy and tough to summarize. However, the mainstay question at the end was open-ended, and thanks to Richard, I shared with him, all of these results were anonymous, by the way, but I shared with him the spreadsheet of what people had said, and he did produce a summary of some of the most frequent responses to that. The same is true with the highway department. One of the questions was an open-ended one there, and I went through there and summarized some of the more common ones that we saw.
This time, very thorough.
Yeah, you and Marty have done a great job the last 4 years. I just want to, thank you guys for everything. I thought you've done phenomenal.
Thank you, thank you.
I agree. I feel like our messaging of the township has definitely improved and increased a lot over the last 4 years. So.
Appreciate that, thank you. So just to conclude on a note about process, If you have any ideas, anything you want to see us do differently, anything you want us to see more of or less of, let us know if you could in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So in case we have anything that we want reflected formally in the contract, we have a little time to do that, and then give that over to Dana before the next board meeting, and that will be in your packet so we can have a vote at that time. All right, thank you all very much, as always.
Thank you, Robert.
Great. All right, moving on to the next item, we have discussion and possible vote on postage machine lease extension. Could you tell us what we're looking at here and what decision we need to make?
All right, so Maine Township utilizes a postage machine system for our shipping and mailing needs. The postage machine allows us to print postage, send certified mail, weigh items, ship passport applications, and process a high volume of mail easily. We also receive a discounted rate for postage and can easily process reports for accounting purposes. The township currently has a lease with Quadian Inc. that began on September 11th, 2022 and will expire on September 11th, 2025. The postage machine is functional, operating effectively, and not in need of replacement. The lease that we're in right now is set to expire is $392.67 per month. This lease can be extended for 12 months at the same rate of $392.67 for $4,712.04 per year, starting on September 11, 2025. I recommend that the township extend this lease for 12 months, as a lease for a new device may cost more than the current device, and the device is in good condition. So rather than replace the device, get into a whole new lease, that would probably cost, based on some research, would cost more. Since it's in great working order, we rarely have service calls, and it's relatively new, I would recommend that we just extend that lease for 12 months.
Any questions?
Is there a reason you wouldn't want to extend it beyond 12 months?
So looking into it, right now the machine's working great. Sometimes the technology and the software and things, as the devices age, sometimes they stop making the parts for them. I think, generally a lot of these companies, I think, want you to eventually get a new machine and get into the more expensive leases. So there's no guarantee that 2 or 3 years from now, it's going to be in the condition that it's in. And since we rely so heavily on the postage machine, we want to make sure it's always in good working order. So I think that a 12-month extension is a really safe way to lock in that rate. The machine's working well, but you're not, running into a thing where we have a full year where it's not in good condition. We have, and it's down and things like that. So I think that's kind of a safe extension, and then we could reassess next year. And then the other thing too is that the company requires, a lot of these contracts require a really specific time where you have to cancel, or where it'll auto renew if you don't. So that's kind of why we're doing this now, even though it's not until almost fall. They require a really specific windows. As Kurt knows from my emails, they require a really specific window to cancel or not auto renew. So this gives us enough time if we needed it. So that's why we're talking about it now.
Is there a motion to renew postage machine lease waiting for 1 year?
So moved.
Second.
Are there any other questions, or Vicki, or regarding the material we have here? Okay. All right. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Diamond?
I'm going to abstain just because this contract doesn't start for a while. So.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
All right, great. Thank you very much.
All right. And then, quick question while I have Kurt here. If I need to have this signed now, even though Karen abstained, is it okay if we sign it now because it's due at a certain time? That's okay?
Yeah, that's
All right. Thank you.
I had a question.
James had a question.
Before we move on to the next item, I just had a question, Karen, for the rest of the board. I know it doesn't say that we're voting on anything for the M3 marketing presentation, but Robert is here and he has a proposal there for a 2-year price guarantee to extend their contract. We can't vote on that?
No, can't vote on it tonight, it's not on the agenda.
Very good. It wasn't specifically stated.
Right. And we did talk about that ahead of time, because I noticed that it wasn't on the agenda, but Robert said that he wanted to give a presentation, give people a chance to have some feedback, and I think he would come back.
Very good. So that's why we're not going to do that today.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification.
Hey, Trustee Maher, just to maybe clarify the point, our contract expires on May 18th. The new term, I believe, starts on May 19th.
Right.
And we have the option of that vote in May needing to backdate the contract to the start of the term. So there won't be any service interruption from a practical standpoint.
Okay, all right, thank you very much, I appreciate that. The presentation was outstanding, so thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks. Thank you.
All right, next item is discussion and possible vote on creation of a part-time food pantry position. Michael Fitzgerald, would you please stand up to the microphone? As our new food pantry director, I understand you're asking for an additional part-time employee. You have one, it's a Bowman, and are requesting the authority to hire another part-time person. Is that right?
Currently have, salary right now, Bowman is actually about 18 to 19 hours a week. And what we're doing is requesting actually an additional person to cover the hours. So since December coming in, we're currently taking care of approximately 500 households per month. We're now up to over 800 households per month. At that time, we were taking in deliveries every week of being approximately 3,000 to 4,000 pounds of food. We're now up to about 12,000 pounds of food, which we take in on a weekly basis. Plus that, we actually have to go out and we're actually picking up donations with the township vehicles at Jewel, Mariano's 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're also picking up Panera 3 days a week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. With those actually entail actually bringing, lifting, putting stuff inside the vehicles, picking them up at the location, bringing them back, unloading them. But with all that too is we also have now over 60 current volunteers that actually are working in the pantry Monday to Friday, anywhere the hours from 9 a.m. all the way to 5 p.m. So pretty much 5 days a week we have volunteers down in the pantry that actually need to be guided, supervised, and actually kind of guided on what bagging we're doing, getting ready for pantry. Most of the actual pantry days we're actually taking care of probably 12 to 14 volunteers that are doing everything from taking care of the people in the pantry, bagging things up, helping people take things to the car, bringing things back in. So at this point, it just makes it very difficult to kind of oversee with just myself and actually 18 current hours to taking care and overseeing everything that we're doing in the pantry here. So also as well as volunteers cannot drive the township vehicles, so somebody else actually at that point, needing someone else that I could actually be here and actually working and doing administration and taking care of things that are going on here and actually doing some of those things that I don't get to till a lot of times the end of the day. So we're looking for somebody else to actually cover a lot of the other hours so that I can be here and I can be taking care of a lot of other things to still continue to grow the pantry.
Thank you, Michael. Does anyone have any questions?
So it's 18 to 20 hours, is that?
I'm sorry?
Is it the hours, I know you said Sally works 18 and 19, and so this person?
This person is probably, so either we could do it that way of doing it that, you know, trying to get somebody to cover about the same amount of hours, and the opposite still would cover 40 hours for the week in which we're here. But at that point, either that or taking and hiring 2 people at a smaller amount of hours to cover. And that could be somebody that would be as a driver, maybe somebody that can carry and pick up 50 pounds at a time, be able to load in and out of the vehicles, and someone else to cover time that would be downside in the pantry too as well.
So I think right now, you know, is you're asking for a 1 part-time person. Up to
Yes,
19
correct.
hours.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Any questions?
Hey.
Yes.
I had a quick question. How many full-time people do we have already?
I'm the only full-time person.
And so how many part-timers do we have
I
currently?
have 1 part-timer, that's Sally, and she's 18 to 19 hours a month.
Okay, so that's only 2 people. So my question is, we frequently hire people only on a part-time basis. And aren't we probably at 20 maybe employees total, Aaron, right? Part-time and then about 40 full-time, something like that? So I'm wondering why we regularly consider part-time only and not full-time, if that's something that would help Mike or we could afford. So that's my only question. Why not hire a full-time person if Mike thinks that would be helpful, or instead of always part-time people? So that's my
We have a lot of
question.
applicants who want to work part-time. They like to have a limited schedule, and that's what they want. So we've been able to hire a lot of great people who are part-time. Sometimes we've even offered part-time, our part-time employees, we've offered them full-time work, and they've turned us down.
Okay.
We like part-time work. So, it depends on, how you think it would work for your schedule in terms of flexibility and everything like that.
Mike, do you feel like you have enough help now with only 2
even right now, with one part-time person, the hours of just what she's working right now just barely cover the pantry hours that we're taking care of the households coming into the pantry. So that doesn't leave any time of returning emails, returning phone calls, anything else that would be done even in the pantry itself. Yes.
Yeah, because I know I was talking to you after the town hall meeting with the people who won the award, and I guess I hadn't realized that you actually have to drive the truck to pick up the food yourself, so.
Correct.
Obviously,
So right now, we're getting
We're
approximately up to about 1,700 to 3,000 pounds of extra food outside of the Greater Food Depository that we're getting from Jewel, Mariano's, and Panera. So those foods itself require Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays to actually take the van and go to the location to pick up the food. There's no guarantee of what we're going to actually get when we go to the locations, but just as an idea, on Friday, we had over 40 boxes, that were picked up between the two locations. So that brings a lot more diversity, a lot more different items that we're normally accustomed to getting into the food pantry to actually provide for the households here in the township.
Any other questions? I have a motion to grant Michael Fitzgerald the authority to hire, as he's requested, a part-time person up to 19 hours a week to work for the food pantry.
So moved. I move to allow Mike authority to hire a part-time person up to 18 hours a week, which is his request.
Is there a second for that?
Second.
Any further questions?
Hope it helps.
Supervisor Dunn? Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
I'll get it for you.
There's a mouse in the house.
All right.
Just kidding.
We just finished the new business.
Oh, I'm just kidding. There's like a little squeak back here. Or like it sounds like a little bird. I don't know where it's coming from. That's what we're
It's not a
talking about.
print.
Yeah.
It's not a print.
Okay. So we are at old business right now. And I do want to ask whether or not the board would like to postpone the discussion of these two somewhat related items until after our closed session, and that the discussion in the closed session, I suppose, could impact the items listed under old business.
I would suggest that.
Agreeable to board members? I don't think we did a formal vote, but I think we'll postpone that till after the closed session. Official reports, though, we can take care of that right now. Who'd like to start? Down here, Susan, we usually start with you.
I'm sure. I think you should start with me. I'm right down here at the end. Well, I want to say that the annual town meeting went off really well. I saw a lot of you there. I saw all of you there. But I just want to give kudos to a member of my staff for Night of the Roses, Sam Devaney Ferris, alias Sam, was chosen to accept the award, and it was well deserved. He's excellent with people, residents that come to the township. He's a caring person and deals with them with respect and dignity, and we get ups and downs all the time within my office. Some people are very irate, other people crying. So I think he did an excellent job, and thank you for the members that came from the township. And all of you, your vote counted. So because of you voting for him, he did receive that award. So that was definitely, an asset. I want to say that we are looking forward to opening for our appeals May 16th. That's what we've been told. I always kind of hang on a ledge and, wait for that to drop and fall to make sure that that does happen. But we have 2 more people coming into our office, which will reflect my budget with my salaries to work that. I already booked the boardroom here for 6 weeks with exception. I need to talk to Marie on a couple dates. So, in the complication within the assessor's office and with the food pantry, it'll be a work in progress for us to get through it, because this is our triennial. This is the big time where they receive that letter where their assessed value goes up. And so they'll be in here, but we're trying to do it by phone, and we're going to put it into the Maine Township website that they can actually apply online, and we'll pick those up through email. So we're hoping to diversify ourselves to make it more easy, not just for us, but more within the township too, the other people that will be here. So, and not only that, but usually we're open for 4 weeks, we are open for 6 weeks with the assessor, which we all look forward to that. So, that being said, thank you for your time.
I'll be quick and let you guys get into closed session. I just want to congratulate Sam on his award, very well deserved. He's a great guy. I was talking to Liz before the meeting, and I think that every one of your staff deserves an award every day for what they deal with. Also, I wanted to thank Supervisor Diamond for her service the last 4 years, and I just wanted to wish you the best of luck moving forward. So a lot of times it's a partnership between us and the public, and it's not easy to put yourself out there. So when you do, it's appreciated. So thank you.
We thank you all for coming to our last annual town meeting. It was a success, thanks to everybody's help, and always appreciate that. We have started Monday evening clerk hours till 7 p.m. and it's been pretty good so far. We are booking the passport appointments. They're pretty much booked right through the next few weeks, so people are starting to take advantage of that. So that's been great. And then last night we had our first National Night Out Against Crime meeting, which will be again Tuesday, August 5th at D Park. And our theme for this year for the poster contest is going to be From Patrols to Partnerships. We are in this together. So with us and the Cook County Sheriffs, that's what we came up with. So that's all I have.
Thank you. And I just want to add something for your staff. And Kim and I were just looking through the boxes of comments that we got out here. And I didn't have a chance to make a copy of this one. This person, Arita Stiram, trying to say that, says, I'd like to extend a heartfelt thank you to the entire staff that assisted me in renewing my passport due to an earlier error. My name needed to be corrected on my expiring passport, which required an entirely new submission. Staff not only guided me as to which documents I needed, but also made sure I submitted everything in correct form. Due to my age, my original birth certificate was not what is apparently acceptable for a passport. And they pointed this out to me. Finally, with all the correct documents, my application was submitted. Without their professional expertise, this process would never have gone as smoothly as it did. I had a new passport in hand within 3 weeks. Accolades to Eva Magnowski for her diligent and precise guidance through this entire process. The entire staff at the clerk's office needs to be commended. They do a great job.
They do. Always make me look good.
Do you want to start off, also?
Will you start from?
Sure.
All right. I first want to thank Supervisor Diamond for our last 4 years services for the Maine Township. I know at the few events we have disagreed to be agreed, but still I was working with you and I really feel I will miss you. And I just want to thank to all the staff who worked with us last 4 years, and they worked very hard, and I really appreciate you working with us. Thank you.
Okay, you get, no, go ahead.
Sure. Okay, I also want to thank Karen as well for the last 4 years, and Kurt. As elected officials, we have obligations not to violate the law. When I got elected as a trustee, I'm not a legal expert on this, but Karen and Kurt are always on top of the legal requirements, so we don't make any mistakes and embarrass ourselves. And they were always on top of it. A lot of the reasons we accomplished the things we did is because they're all over the legal requirements, and we're not stepping on anyone's toes violating any law. So, and Karen and Kurt are our legal team, and I think they did a great job. I also want to commend the people that did the hiring here. I have to admit that that's Karen, Dana, and Vicki, and Rupa. It seems to me every single person we hire is outstanding. And we had some, problems discussing in the past how we're going to hire people, but all the hires are outstanding. From Jack, to Michael, to the young man that Marty hired, to the new man we just had. It seems to me every time we find winners to hire, and they're all doing a great job. So thank you for the hiring team. It's just great. The survey gave us some great ideas. I think I'm looking forward to examining that and making improvements. That's how we learn how to be better. We take surveys and we listen to the people. So the survey was just an outstanding idea that hopefully we can follow in the future. I attended one of Marty's events in the last month. I wanted to comment on that. He had a speaker, a young lady who's now a police officer, and addiction affects men and women. Of course, most of the people I know are men who suffer from this, but there's many women who suffer. And Marty's speaker was just outstanding, talking about how alcoholism and addiction affect men and women. And thank you, Marty, for that great event. Also, I attended the neighborhood watch meeting. So for Kim, she wasn't available, and that was great. I think we're improving it. We're getting more attendance. And so that's it. So thank you very much.
I plan to sort of say what several other people have already said. I wanted to thank Karen for the past 4 years. I think that when this current iteration of this group started this journey 4 years ago, half of us didn't know what to expect. And I think that we had, I think it was good that we had you here to kind of guide us. And, it's a little bittersweet in a way to see this change. But I think it's also, there will be some new things coming, and I think that that's exciting as well. But thank you again for everything you've done.
Okay, I guess I'll start with the rundown, the town hall meeting, where we had an excellent state of the township speech by Karen. Covered a lot, and if anybody missed it who's watching tonight, you can go back and watch the video. As the other trustees and the board members have mentioned, under Karen's supervision, we have expanded a lot of the programs in the township, and we've accomplished a lot. So this has been a good team, and we appreciate everything that all you do and have done. I had the pleasure to also attend Night of Roses with Supervisor Diamond and employees and Assessor Cry. That was really nice. And I don't think we can overstate how proud we are of Sam and just all of our departments, but the Assessor's Department was highlighted that night. And they do a great job, they really do. And so we appreciate everything that you do. And it was nice that it was acknowledged in a more public way. And I also attended the National Night Out meeting last night, which was good. We're finally kicking it off. This year, the years go by so fast. It seems like we just had this. So here we are again, and I'm sure it's going to be another great National Night Out. If you haven't been there, we have the best National Night Out. I have to we have the best out of everybody's. The county sheriff works, they bring everything. So if you have kids, you have to bring them to ours, because it's the best. So thanks again, Karen, for everything. Pass it on to you.
Thank you. Yeah, it certainly has been an interesting 4 years, and I just really want to say it's been a fabulous experience, an opportunity to work here during the past 40 years. I've really learned a lot, and just the people I've had a chance to work with have really been fabulous too. And I just don't know if the taxpayers of Cook County, the residents really know how well they are served by the staff here, the board members at Maine Township. So I only wish I could tell them that more effectively, but we all know. So, yeah, Robert can help us. And I do want to make one particular thank you for Kelly bringing the library here tonight. It's something we have worked on and off with fits and starts over at least a year.
Yeah, it took a while.
And
yeah, it's been a while.
it was like time. And I have this collection of little library photos from all over. How about this one? Anyway, so it gave me great joy to see it here before I left.
Yes.
So thank you very much. I do appreciate that very much. All right, so that winds up the official reports, and I think it's time for us to go into closed session. May I have a motion to go into closed session for several reasons. One, security procedures and use of personnel and equipment to respond to an actual, threatened, or reasonably potential danger to the safety of employees, staff, student staff, the public, or public property. Two, discussing the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees. And three, litigation, which is probable or imminent. So may I have a motion to go into closed session for those three reasons?
So moved.
Second. May I have a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
All right, so we will be going to closed session now. We will be returning, and that we will have a few items left on our agenda after the closed session. So it's your option if you want to stay or not, entirely up to our visitors. We just have 1 minute time here. All right, we left a couple of items that are under old business unaddressed. So the discussion and possible vote on salary increases. Do I have a motion to table that for this evening until the next meeting?
No, I thought we were going to vote on it.
Salary increases?
No, the budget.
Budget.
Oh, the budget, okay.
So,
Right.
table that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a motion to table?
Motion to table the discussion and the possible
Because
vote
we're
on
gonna have,
salary
we're gonna have
increases.
Dana draft up that.
Yes.
And then,
Okay.
right, Dana's giving us more information.
We'll tell you in a second.
Got that?
Yes. Ready?
Roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
All right, so we also have on our agenda from old business, discussion and possible vote on town funds / general assistance 2025-26 budget. We have a motion to pass this item and pass the 25-26 budget for the town fund and general assistance.
Motion to pass the town fund and general assistance budgets for 2025-26.
Second.
Okay. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes?
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
One other item that was on our agenda was discussion of possible vote on security and access control system. And I believe the board will want to table that for a discussion at next month's meeting with a possible vote. Do I have a motion to table?
Motion to table, security and access control system.
Okay, all right. Second?
Second.
All right. Roll call?
Supervisor Diamond? Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
All right, all I need now is a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Second, yeah.
Okay, roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
Okay.